Excel Tutorial 5, pages 288 through 292. Before we get started on 288, flip back to 287 and just read those brief couple of paragraphs at the bottom of 287 called Using the Total Row to Calculate Summary Statistics. When you finish reading that, flip over to page 288 to add a total row to sum the amount column and count the day column. Step number 1. Select any cell in the January data table. Okay, just click on there because we were on the slicer. That's going to display the Table Tools contextual tab. On the ribbon, click the Table Tools Design tab. Step 3. In the Table Style Options group, there, click the Total Row checkbox to insert a check mark. Okay, we're in our Table Styles group. We have all these different rows over here, and we want a total row, which is right there. Just click on it. Okay, saw what happened right down there. The total row is now the last row in the table. The label total appears in the leftmost cell of the row, and $24,612.67 appears in the rightmost cell of the row. See figure 5-23 and ensure that your screen matches the figure in the textbook. Next, you will use the count function to add the number of records displayed. Step number 4, click cell B126. Okay, so you're going to click right here and notice in your name box it shows you B126. If your name box doesn't show B126, get to the right cell before we go any further. Now, click the arrow button next to it to display a list of functions. None is the default function in all columns except the last one. Okay? So you can see right there it's none. Move over to page 289. Click Count. The number 124, which is the number of records in the January data table, appears in that cell. Okay, pretty easy so far, right? Okay, read that little paragraph in the middle of 289. Then we're going to go on to filter cash receipts by excluding receipts from week 1 and week 6. Control Home. Step 2. On the week number slicer, click the To Slicer button. Now, press and hold the Control key as you click 3, 4, and 5. Scroll to the end of the table. The total row shows that the 112 records contain total cash receipts of $22,225.55. See figure 5-25 on page 290 and compare it to your screen and make sure that they match. Next, read about splitting the worksheet window into panes. To split the cash receipts worksheet window into panes, Control Home. Step 2. Select the cell in column A that is 2 rows above the last row visible on your screen. Okay, select the cell in column A that's 2 rows over this one. On the ribbon, click the View tab. In the window group, click the Split button. Okay, so here's our window group. There's Split. The worksheet window splits into 2 panes. Each pane has its own set of scroll bars. The active cell is in the bottom pane below the split bar. Okay, here's our split bar. See it right here? Our active pane is right here, down here, because we're clicking to this cell, which is below the split bar. Look on the far right-hand side, and you're going to see that each of these window panes, even though this one's really small, has its own vertical scroll bar. Okay? This is a really good tool, but be careful with it because it can be a little bit of a dangerous tool. So you just have to know what you're doing with it. On page 291, read the little thing about trouble just in case you have a problem. Step number 5. Using the lower scroll bar, scroll down until the total row appears immediately below the split bar. So we're just going to scroll down using this little guy right here, little vertical scroll bar. Keep going until your total row it's down there somewhere. Keep going. Whoops. Right there. Got it. Okay. Flip to page 292. All right. To update the amount of the coffee receipts on 1/28/2016, select any cell in the top pane. So we're just going to click any place up here. Use the find command to locate the 1/28/2016 receipts for coffee. The amount is $144.60. Okay, do you remember the keyboard command to open your find and replace dialog box with the find tab selected? Okay, it's Control F as in find. Remember that when you're using a find and replace, it retains the data from the last search that you did. So we want to change this to 1/28/2016, and we're going to go find next until we find the one that is for, oh, that's it, coffee for, let's see, $144.60. That's the right one. We can go ahead and close this right here, close our little find and replace dialog box. If we need it again, just pop it right back over with the keyboard command Control F. Now, in the amount column, we don't want to change this. It should have been $244.60. There was a typo. So go ahead and change the 1 to a 2 and press your Enter key, and then you can watch your total change. Okay? Your total should now be $22,325.55. All right. To remove the split panes from the cash receipts worksheet, on the ribbon, click the View tab if you're not already there. In the window group, click the split button, and the split bar is going to be removed. Okay? Your split's a toggle. It's a toggle switch. Toggle switch has two settings, on or off. Right now it's on, so just turn it off. Okay? All right. Now you're going to hide the total row and clear the filter. To hide the total row and clear the filter, step number 1. On the ribbon, click the Table Tools Design tab. In the Table Style Options group, click the Total Row checkbox to remove the check mark. The total row will no longer be visible. Press Control Home. On the week number slicer, click the Clear Filter button to remove all of the filters. All of the cash receipts for January are now displayed. Okay, reach up and hit save because that is the last portion of this video and you're ready to move on to the next video.